There we go. All right, Team Black. Let's close out of that. There we go, Team Black. Let's go with the French defense. Why not? Why not the French defense? Oh, okay, let's go d5. For a second I was thinking, oh, this is going to maybe turn into the Panov-Botvinnik structure, but not quite the case because it's not the c pawn that has been capturing on the d5 square. So I could pick him up right away. I don't know that I even want to do that. I'd much rather do it with the knight. Let's do that. I think I could track him down without much of a problem. Let me just take him right now. So I'm looking to just quickly develop, castle, throw my rook on e8. That could happen very quickly. Right? Bishop check, castle, rook here. Let's do this. And I don't have to take. He is defended. If bishop takes, knight takes, I could think about bishop f5 and trying to get into the c2 square. So I could try to make use of my knight's position on the white side here. Okay, so white is making sure that they could castle. This is a tame deployment of the bishop, but I think needed. A more aggressive post runs into this. So where do we go from here? Knight c6, rook e8, bishop somewhere. Actually, I think I want to move my knight. Yeah, let's get him out. I'm not sure where my bishop belongs, so I'm going to retain that flexibility. I think earlier in the stream I was pointing out that you'll often see the queen-bishop development delayed because it's not completely clear where it belongs. This is maybe another instance of that. Okay. I'm not really, I don't know that I want to capture and allow white to no longer have an isolated d-pawn. So what other moves can I be considering? H6 seems actually pretty purposeful. Let me do h6. As a flight square, bishop g5 moves later on can maybe be annoying. Some pressure could be placed on my knight. Queen b3 seems like a natural move, but it's actually a losing move. Queen b3, I take the knight, and then I take the bishop. So white has to be careful about leaving with the queen. Queen c2 is maybe a bit different. Bishop takes, the queen is there to defend laterally, but not so sure about that. Okay, am I not just winning a pawn here? Let me see. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes, knight takes, knight is now threatening my bishop, but I could take on the d5 square with my rook, and then this bishop would be in a pin. I think I'm just winning a pawn. Actually, the other move to consider is knight takes pawn here. I'd have to, however, maybe be concerned about something like knight takes f7 with bishop check here or queen check here. That could maybe be annoying. But I'm really tempted to just get rid of the piece that's in my position. Let me give this one more quick view. Knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, rook takes pawn. My queen is unprotected in that position, but she's soon to be protected after a bishop move. After a couple captures here, if knight takes, I take on d5 with the rook. That's the important point. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm not seeing it. I think I'm just winning a pawn here. He still needs to get out, though. My bishop on c8. I'm not fully developed, so that's something I really start to question. If I'm going for a variation where I could maybe win a pawn, how's my development doing? In this case, it's not too far backward. I don't know if either side really has a lead in development. So knight takes, I take like this. I'm not necessarily locked into that. Okay. Oh, this could be a little bit scary. Knight takes, bishop takes. My queen is unprotected. Queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Bishop takes bishop check. Or not bishop takes bishop check, but bishop takes bishop. There's an in-between move of rook here. That's a little bit uncomfortable, I must say. If knight here, there's bishop takes, king takes, queen b3. I feel like I need to do something like this. c6. Or wait, what about bishop e6? I'm going to go here. My rook is looking a little stranded, I must say. I didn't want to go in for this capture because I had issues with my back rank, I believe. I'm really down on time. My opponent has been throwing out these moves very quickly. So let's see what happens here. Knight takes. I believe I take with the bishop first. I need to do that. Knight takes knight. If I'm taking like this, then bishop takes bishop. Or maybe not. Maybe I could be taking like this, but maybe that would end up in an opposite color bishop ending. So I'm up a pawn if there's a way to avoid a strictly, well, if the only minor pieces around are a case of opposite color bishops, I'd like to avoid lines that lead into that type of position. f4, is that going to be annoying? I don't know. No, it really can't. This, I could take the knight and then always give this check and then go somewhere else. So, I mean, I think I want to take here. Let me just put it on the board. Yep, let's just take here. There's no tricky knight move. And after the smoke clears, I think this is going to be a strictly major piece ending where I'm up a pawn and I've already made a flight square for my king. So white will still be needing to do just that. Okay. And take like this. And then after bishop takes bishop, rook takes bishop. Okay, we're not having that, and we're having something that's actually quite annoying. Very annoying, actually. 42 seconds, and now after g4, I'm in trouble. No, I didn't have to do that. I could have taken the bishop because I was on this. Okay, so now I'm saved. Well, I was saved earlier, but let's just get right here. Make sure everything is nice and cozy. And then what? c6 just to reinforce my bishop on d5, and then bishop here. I like this move. Just securing everything, making way for a queen here with check. Actually, I like this square now. And then rook here. 35 seconds to 30. Let's just get there. My back rank is okay, but maybe this isn't the most reliable square anymore. Well, I can maintain my queen on f6, but it's not the most reliable square anymore. Maybe I could actually get this pawn rolling. Let's get him up here. Back up, and oh, I could have taken that pawn. I take it now. I'm on this rook. There's a couple checks. No, I have this back rank covered. I'm on the rook. Take that. Let's check, and then it's soon to be mate. Oh no, I'm just winning that rook at the end. Okay, maybe those were just time burners. Okay. All right, GG. Let's go back. I was nervous right there in that middle game. I saw I was up a pawn, but I was also at the same time off balance when I won that pawn. And I don't know how, I think the better version, having, what's the difference between the Panov structure and this one? This is pretty much arriving, well, it's a French defense with c4 inserted. I don't have any problems getting out my bishop. One thing you experience on the black side when you're fighting against the isolated pawn out of the Panov structure, out of the Panov-Botvinnik attack, is getting the bishop outside, doing something. And I don't have that issue. I don't have a pawn on e6. I have both my center pawns cleared, so development is not as much an issue when fighting against this particular isolated pawn. Whereas if this pawn is over here, you know, I'm having to do it by way of b6, bishop b7, or one of these things to get on this diagonal. So it's a lot smoother is what I'm saying, and it's not as difficult to defend, I guess you could say, against some attack maybe against my own king. In fact, black is very quick in getting a rook first on this completely opened, on this completely open file. This is not the first time that happened. Let me just quickly bring this up here. There we go. Okay, I should probably go into this all the time. So here, let me just flip the board. Or no, let me look at it from your perspective. So like I was saying, it's going to be easier development-wise for me to get all my pieces out. My queen, bishop in particular, get that out. And I guess this just isn't working, right? This idea of knight to e5. I don't know how many problems are posed for black here. I think black is maybe already equal, maybe starting to be slightly better. This isn't the most aggressive deployment of the bishop, although again, he kind of had to go here, anticipating this check to block. So he is on e2, knight c6, castles, rook e8. Where is there an improvement on the white side? Okay, so I don't think that this is working out, so there must be some improvement here. I wonder if rook e1 is better. Rook e1 with an idea of queen to b3. And then maybe bishop d3 or bishop c4. What am I doing when I'm playing on this e file? But well, f7 is a bit soft, so maybe it makes sense to develop the queen to an aggressive post where she eyes d5 and indirectly f7. But I think I also have some support with bishop e6, since h6 is... I did this initially to kind of stop the bishop g5 stuff. I thought that could be annoying, but even looking at it deeper, I could rely upon a bit better the e6 square now for my bishop. Not have to worry about knight g5 stuff. Maybe that's an improvement, just getting the rook to e1 with, again, queen to b3. h3 as a flight square also stops my bishop g4 move. Yeah, this is maybe my suggestion here. I would suggest bishop d3, but this seems very awkward now, you know, with these ideas in mind. So that's why I'm suggesting something like this. Maybe this first, and then queen b3, some order. Some order of moves like this. ones to consider. But we didn't have that. We went in for knight e5, and now this drops a pawn. Unless I'm missing something, I don't think I am. It did seem a little bit uncomfortable. If f4, this is what I was planning on doing. Taking here, I'm on the queen. However you recapture, I could always do this check and then move my rook somewhere else. Or not even. No, I didn't have to do that. I could just take, because I'm on this. So it seems to just not be working out, is what I'm getting at. There's no way to really exploit the slightly off balance position of the black pieces, slightly backward development-wise here on the queen side. Bishop c4 was played. I played bishop e6, and this was a big concern I had. If I took here on c3, there's bishop takes, and now what? Two unprotected pieces. If queen takes queen, now there's rook takes. My rook is hit, my bishop is hit. If bishop takes bishop, now there's first this check, and then the recapture, and now how do I get out of this pin? And I have to do something about my f7 pawn. So that's why I couldn't do knight c3 here, or at least I think. So instead I developed, my queen is defended, and now the smoke ends up clearing very quickly. This wasn't the variation, but what was played right here. Not f4, but rather what? What was that next move? Seeing it in the notation. Oh, knight takes d5 was played. We exchange a bunch, and there's really no... I should have done something different here. This move, and then grabbed that. Yeah, just consolidating at this point. I'm up a pawn, and there's really just no compensation for it. And then just crazy fast moves as the time gets much less. Okay, I'm not really sure what more to add with this game. But alright, good game in existence.